2016 NXL World Cup, the biggest paintball tournament on planet Earth. We have one more set left here in the morning division. It's Los Angeles Infamous taking on Chicago Aftershock and Upton 187 crew, and the Russian Legion of Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez. So Todd, Infamous winning that first game against 187, taking on Chicago Aftershock, who got beat up pretty bad by the Russians. Your thoughts on this match about to go down right now?
Well, I think Aftershock finally started to figure it out a little bit, changing things up at the end. Is it going to be enough for LA Infamous? Infamous has really given it to Aftershock time and time again, as players from Infamous that came from Shock go back to Shock from Infamous. And there goes the first one. Looks like Drew Templeton getting shot out of that snake side corner. So he's the first body to come walking off and see how this is going to go.
Infamous doubling up the temple right there on your screen. There's the lineup for Infamous. And we'll see how long they stay in that spot. Nope, immediately gets out of there. Cody Mikowski being the one over here on the snake side, and there's going to be a minor penalty is assessed on Aftershock. That's not going to help things here.
Now Chris Sosine gets AJ Lawhead pulled. So those two come walking off. Just Velez and Dizon over there on the Dorito side. Looks like Infamous going with the same starting lineup, the same breakout, and having the same success now.
And it looks like Cody Minkowski hits the deck and crawls into Snake 2. Nobody behind him now. Damian Ryan filtered up towards the center, and they lost a body over here. You can see on the fan predictions, myfanwagon.com, playing some big prizes. See Infamous the big favorite over Shock, and rightfully so. It's been not Aftershock's year, though we've seen, you know, the Aftershock are one of those legendary teams here at World Cup, and been a long time since they've had a chance to win this one. And if they could get it together here and beat Infamous, it would be a huge turning point potentially for this franchise here in this rebuild. But it's not looking good right now. There goes another body as Velez gets peeled off by Damian Ryan. And then here comes a coast-to-coast run. Is that Bornstein?
Yeah, Bornstein.
Corey trying to get himself some over there.
Yeah, he's trying to make sure his stats are correct by not giving our statisticians any other choice than to give it to the closest guy bolting down that side.
So Infamous putting the first point on the board here against Chicago Aftershock, and now it's going to be 187's turn to take on the Russian Legion. Russian Legion looked very good in their first match against Aftershock. And with the Russians, talking to Kirill Pridny before the start of this tournament, he had basically said that the management and ownership of their team kind of laid the gauntlet down for them and said, hey, look, it's time for you guys to start performing. And I feel maybe that's a little harsh, because I think that they have done a good job of getting better this year and are starting to be relevant again against some of these better teams. And they really showed in that first game. You know, not quite mistake-free paintball, but pretty close, as we see a big move here by Alexander Burtnikov getting all the way to the 50-yard line here in the snake right away.
And a big mistake is to not have at least two guns up on the snake side at all times, with Alexander Burtnikov and Axel Godin over here on the snake side, because watching those first points by the Russians in their other matchup, all they did was go 3 guns hard on the snake side and just force it and force it and force it and pound the paint and make you have to gun battle them. Very confident in their gunfighting ability. Teams finding it very hard, as 187 is finding out right now that the Russian Legion are just going to continue to put the pressure on the snake side.
Ooh, nice
and
kill.
win those heads-up gun battles.
Axel just got a nice shot on the back player over here on the snake side for 187. Full court press right now for the Russians, and looking good to start this point out. I think they lost a body, 5 players alive for the Russians. Looks like Polikov got the start over there on the D side for the Russians, along with Kirill Pridny, Colombo, Alexander Burtnikov, and Axel Godin.
30 seconds.
So pretty much everyone on the Russians is playing well right now.
Yeah. And when your snake side is winning gun battles, shooting the first body, staying committed to that side, then it takes the pressure off your Dorito side to have to force moves. Yeah, the snake's corner is actually, you know, decently harder spot to make, but Axel Godin has run out there a lot, barely got shot so far. So if he's going to continue to make it, they're going to continue to send him.
Axel's a hard guy to shoot. He's fast and he's really small. On the breakout here, Aftershock against Infamous. Aftershock losing a body here, trying to get out wide, and they lose another one too as Ronnie Dizon gets peeled off the D side. So not the start that Aftershock wanted to get to this game. Already down by 1, but a lot of time left here, obviously, as we're just getting things rolling here in our last set before the afternoon competition and a short lunch break. Thomas Taylor played phenomenal for Infamous in their first match and their first win, and he comes off early too.
Here comes Drew Templeton trying to make something happen. Coming up to the wall, he's got Damian Ryan on the other, opposite side of it. Corey Bornstein still in the back center, looking for bodies. 3 Aftershock players left alive, kind of protecting Drew Templeton over there. Damian Ryan going to come to the snake side, take a look around, see what he sees. But Velez and Sosine still crossed up. Bornstein fills out to the snake side tower. Brad McCurley sitting in Dorito 3, standing up, trying to put the heat on Sosine. And Velez. Yeah,
Velez just dodged one right there from Ryan. Ryan wrapping around on the D side of the field there at the center 50-yard line. Damian Ryan, an MVP himself, won the MVP award during Infamous's win in Texas. We almost gave that award to Thomas Taylor, but Damian Ryan just had a
Drew
spectacular.
Templeton shoots Brad McCurley, then comes around on Damian Ryan in the wall, exchanges his body for 2.
Take that trade any day.
And so now it is just Corey Bornstein looking at Velez and Sosine.
Sosine up over the top right now trying to count the kills. You can see the 2 players there on your screen for Chicago Aftershock trying to figure out what the count is right now. See at the top, they're talking it up too. Good communication. Corey Bornstein now in the insert bunker here on the snake side. Gonna try to get a kill. This is a Shock's opportunity, 2-on-1, high body situation. Got to win the 2-on-1s if you want to win games. Bornstein trying to play the spoiler here in this point. Bornstein playing a bunch of bunkers over here on the snake side. If you have the opportunity to do that, that's good moves by Corey here because it keeps your opponent guessing.
And good move by Velez. He is now all the way on Infamous's side of the field. Corey Bornstein going to advance. And looks like Bornstein going to pick up Velez. Bornstein moved when Velez tried to get closer. And then when Velez popped out, Bornstein was 2 knuckles up and shoots Velez. Now it's a 1-on-1.
Yeah, great shot by Corey, but that's Velez dropping the ball right there. Got to be careful, man. 2-on-1. Utilize your cover. Corey Bornstein, though, with that great shot. Now 1-on-1 up here with, and he gets taken out by Chris Sosine. Big Chris Sosine.
What a nice move there by Sosine to come into that forward snake side tower. And as Bornstein popped up in the back center, there was Sosine, shoots him right in the side of the head.
Chris Sosine, a former member of Infamous, and yeah, quite the interesting relationship that these 2 teams have.
Point approved.
So Infamous now going to drop a point to Shock, tied up at 1 as 187 and the Russians come back out to play their next point. Looks like they're sending out Zaleski,
30 seconds.
Darula, Lazat, Trailer, and Sloviak start this next point here for 187. Looks like the Russians are sending out Kirill, Colombo, Axel, and Britnikov. Is that Zabara? No, it's Polnikov. Yeah, Polnikov. Who I think has changed his goggles. Polnikov was wearing the green goggles. I don't think he has those goggles on anymore. Playing on that D side. No, it still has them. So yeah, the young Polnikov out there, starting with the veterans.
And they get 1 off that Dorito side on the break. They take out Trailer. 3 187 players come running out now. That's going to be trouble for Lazat up there in the middle as Biernikov comes up to the wall.
Russians lose 1 body, but great off the break shooting is giving them this body advantage here. Lazat at the wall, he's going to get run down. Biernikov tries to lunge back to keep his body alive on that run through, and it's now a 2-on-1 situation with 187 shooting some bodies themselves.
Yeah, Sloviak was able to get Biernikov when he came through, and Sloviak also shot Colombo coming up through the middle. So creating a 2-on-1 here. Sloviak in this snake side corner. He's looking at Axel Godin in snake 1, and Polyakov over there in the 50 Dorito for the Russian Legion, and looks like Polyakov is able to get a shot in on Sloviak from that Dorito. Not a whole lot of room to hide. But good shooting once again
Point
by the
approved.
Russian Legion off the break, taking out 3 187 players in the first 5 seconds of the game.
And 187 did a little bit of damage themselves off the break. They shot Peridney and then a couple more bodies after that. But yeah, Todd, absolutely. That shooting 3 players off the
30
break
seconds.
doesn't get much better than that. You see 1 occasionally, 2 every now and then, but it's kind of rare to see 3 bodies drop off that break. So that just goes to show you that the 2 weeks of
20
solid
seconds.
practice that the Russians had coming over, first going to Texas, getting some scrimmages in, I think AC Dallas, and then continuing to practice, heading over here to
30
Orlando,
seconds.
and looking really good so far in their first 2 matches. Up by 2 right now over 187. 11 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. Tie game. Just getting things going here with Shock and Infamous. We're watching Infamous here take off on the break, and then now here's the battle developing in the center.
Yep, Trevor Reeser back up in there. Looking at Drew Templeton on the other side. Both looking in opposite directions. Infamous once again doubling up that snake side tower. Getting out of the back center. And now coming up, gonna cut across. Looks like Ninos gets picked off by Drew Templeton trying to come up and over move.
Yeah, tough death there by Ninos. And that means Infamous, no offense going over here on the snake side. But the battle up in the center, see if Reeser. And Reeser comes around and then continues to go through. No one's picked up Reeser yet. Trevor Reeser finally catches a ball, and he's going to take cover. And I think that ball actually bounced off his chest. So Trevor Reeser and now is going to get run down. But what a great move there. The wrecking ball in the center. You know, what a brave man Trevor Reeser is, coming back from almost losing an eye at the last event. And just still showing no fear up there. And then here comes Infamous Brad McCurley going to finish off Chris Sosine.
Wow, with the back and forth moves. Reeser goes, then you see Velez go, then McCurley comes to get Velez. McCurley continues on all the way through and picks off Chris Sosine there, the last body for Chicago Aftershock.
Yes, nobody left. Did Brad McCurley trade out?
No, Brad shot Sos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why is Brad walking off? Well, here's Brad walking off right
maybe
now.
he did trade out. Callie Rudolph is still alive over there in the Dorito 1, though.
Where is Callie now? Did Callie already walk off?
No, he's in Dorito 1. Brad McCurley is
Yeah,
walking off.
okay, yeah. Callie's still alive. Callie's in D1. Time's still ticking off. Yeah, Callie's just chilling. He's gonna let some time expire. Might as well just go and hit the buzzer. You see this sometimes. Guys want to just grind that clock off. You know, Shock not wanting to concede this point.
Yeah. Well, it's only a 1-point lead. Infamous, once they score.
Well, the thing is that the less time you have, the more important each point is. So Infamous doesn't, he doesn't know the count. That's kind of weird. No one's shot at him for a long time. So Callie's a veteran.
Veteran enough not to go running down the field and get shot by a guy hiding in the snake. He's gonna wait,
Yeah.
look, wait, or maybe he's just acting really well right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, sure wonder if there's a guy back here.
And so he's still, you know, he's got his gun up there from the hip point right there. And he's just gonna walk in now, gun down, realizing that there's nobody left alive. But yeah, so and then finally they're gonna concede the point. But the thing is that again, the less time you have, the more that each point is important. So if you don't have a pretty solid lead, you also want time left on that clock. So still a lot though. 8 minutes and 28 seconds to go in that matchup, and Infamous now taking a 1-point lead as we see Moscow Russian Legion coming out to play this next point here against 187 crew. You know, and Todd, you know, with 187 crew's game, they woke up a little bit later on against Infamous. But those first 2 points, just the Russians continue to dominate. They look really good out there right now. Look hungry to come in and try to maybe possibly get a win here.
Well, they've been contending all season. They beat a lot of good teams. The games they've lost have usually been pretty close. But this is a good field for them. I really feel like this long snake, they know what it is to do. They got fast guys that can get out wide, and they're just staying committed to their gun battles. Heads up over here on the snake side.
Axel Godin able to make it out here on the snake side to the back bunker. There goes Britnikoff up to the center. And, you know, it has been a while since we've seen Russian Legion able to contend for a win in the NXL. But we're talking about a lot of the guys like so Godin, Colombo, and Malloy, Alexander Britnikoff, they play on the Tauntauns in the Millennium Series. And the Tauntauns have won events. They won an event this year. And Krill Pridney, he's won a bunch of world championships, and so this team, with the lineup they have currently, can definitely win an NXL event. So no one can sleep anymore on the Russians, as that team has officially been rebuilt. But they did get a big challenge from the ownership. If you just tuned in, we've been talking about this event. You know, their ownership was basically kind of saying to them, hey, we need more out of you guys. Yeah, so there's a lot of pressure for them to perform here at this event.
If you get a lot, you got to give a lot.
Yep.
You know, it's not like the Russians have ever been short on funding or sponsorship, giving all these players the tools they need to be winners. You know, losing, you're out. Winning, you're back in again.
Upton 187 crew, no offense for them over here on the Snake side, as Malloy able to get into Snake 2.
Darula making his way into Snake 1. He's got help in the corner.
And he has a body up in that center 50. You can see there that angle, trying to get a shot on Malloy, but it's blocked out from that bunker that's on the side of the wall, and then also that pin. So that's that. It's kind of a tough angle right there. It's not that easy to control that lane. And you see Malloy now going to battle inside. Malloy now has his gun up. Might think they might run him down here. I mean, he has 2 players right behind him, so he doesn't really need to chill and stay posted on the highway, because Axel is wrapped around and mostly winning this battle. You notice how Axel's winning the gunfight over here down the sideline?
Yeah, he's just staying on that wire. He doesn't have to do anything but keep Darula from coming down the Snake. That's all he's got to do.
Well, and keep, I think that's Zaleski in the back corner bunker. Zaleski has been forced to shoot inside. Zaleski is kind of conceding this sideline here, which to Axel. You know, he needs to put some pressure on Axel. Axel is just now looking over the top, and that's going to allow Malloy to get up. See, this is how you win a Snake battle right here. You can see Axel standing up in that spot. He's perfect position, or perfect size to play that spot. It's kind of a tough spot to play, and that allows Malloy to get past the 50-yard line, and now playing the thorn here in the side of Upton 187 crew. And notice how Upton really hasn't had too much offense going on, and now Donovan is going to try to run down Malloy, and he sticks him clean. No, that was Darula. Nice work by Darula. But we haven't. We need a little. 187 needs a little more offense on the Snake side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even when Darula made that move, he got picked up.
But look at this, though. The D side's getting blown open here as Pridney comes off and Polyakov gets shot out. So now Russians are in a tough spot, as it's just Colombo, and I think Axel also got shot. So that D side's getting blown open for 187. This is a big point for them too. You don't want to go down by you don't ever want to go down to any team by 3, but the way Legion's playing right now, you get an opportunity. You want to get that point on the board to look like Thomas Mantoni was the player for 187 up in that center. Nice work by the D side, really winning this point here, and Mantoni in the center and it was a good move by Darula to take out Alexander Burtnikov. They're going to hit that buzzer. Score is going to be 2-1 as long as the hang is clean. We've already seen a couple guys hit that buzzer today with hits on them.
Excellent work by the Dorito side over there for 187.
It's Greg Lazat.
Thomas Tony up there in the center early, locking off because Russians keep going short on that Dorito side, so they got Mantoni up into the wall right away. Keep them from moving out. Had to win gunfights out of those spots. Hard to play sometimes, doubled up in that back center. And 187 able to make the moves to keep the Snake side at bay, come get a big kill, and then make that push up the Dorito side, making it a 1-point game. As we see Aftershock and Infamous lining up to go again. Reeser, Taylor, Ryan, Bornstein.
1-point game here too. 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and it looks like they try to send Ryan up to that center. He gets taken out, but Aftershock also loses their body, so it's now 4-on-4. No one in the center for either team. Yeah, no one in the Snake for either team.
Drew Templeton gets in there. He stays in alive. He's going to be on Infamous' side of the field. They know he's in there, went there on the break, turned the corner, and came straight in.
Carl Markowski for Chicago Aftershock able to get right into D3 and get a kill cross field. Nice work by Carl. Chris Sosine's going to go to the back bunker on the D side to back up Carl Markowski, who's in a good, pretty dominant spot over there. And then now past the 50-yard line here is Templeton. Yeah, so Drew Templeton, who closed out their first match where they took that loss with a really good point. So it's good to see him shake off the early stumbles that Shock had in their first match, and now in good position. So Templeton and Markowski, the offensive forces right now on the field for Shock.
Here comes Velez out of the snake side corner into snake 2. Trying to help out Drew as he wraps around the outside. And Drew puts one on Corey Bornstein's back. He's going to have to run off as Thomas Taylor, he gets a shot on Drew, but then gets shot himself. So just one body left alive is Brad McCurley, and he gets shot by Carl Markowski.
Yeah, Thomas Taylor got a shot on Drew, but then Carl shot Thomas, and then Markowski closing that game out and running down the last player for running down Brad McCurley. So really good point by Velez, Markowski, and Templeton, 3 players that Chicago Aftershock really needs to lean heavily upon. And it looks like the point is good. And that is going to tie things up here in this close battle. Chicago Aftershock really needing a win here against Infamous as they dropped their first game. Infamous defeated 187 Crew 5-3 in their first match. They're 1-1. Shock 0-1. Let's check in with Lauren. She's down in the pits here, 187.
Thanks. 187 feels that the Russians are strongest on the snake side. So as you saw on the last point, they think if they can get to that Dorito corner off the break, they'll be able to shut down the snake side and really control the pace of the match, make the moves when they want to make them instead of being forced to make quick moves, which leads to mistakes. Back to you.
Well, it's like we were just talking about, Todd. Where's the offense on the snake side for 187?
Right. Yeah, they got to get it going. And here goes Smotrov out to the snake side corner. And the Russians are going to run to that snake side corner as long as they keep making it. As that player is getting in there and helping their snake attack come underneath. Sending Smotrov out there, and now it's going to allow him to come right around the outside, crawl straight into snake 2.
Yeah, Smotrov slipped a little bit coming out of that back bump. We're still able to make it in alive. And this is what we're talking about. That's aggression. That's offense. You got your young guy, and the reason he's on the team is to do this. Get up the field, make people worry about you, and try to get some kills, but most importantly, present a threat. And we still don't have a threat over here on the snake side for 187.
No, it just seems like it's empty over here. The constant focus is over on the Dorito side. They lose Max Trailer out of Dorito too. But I think Kirill comes walking out with them. But now Smotrov and Godin have the snake side to themselves, as only one 187 player, looks like Darula, is in that snake side tower, who was looking Dorito side most of this point early. So Smotrov, anytime he wants to, can pretty much turn that corner. Oh, actually, no, sorry, there was a guy in the up front snake side tower. It was Sloviak, and Sloviak's going to get shot by Smotrov. He was the one keeping him there.
Well, there's a minor penalty assessed also on 187, which is going to leave Pike alive, or is it Pike or Roberts? Somebody alive over there for 182 bodies, actually. It's Thomas Mantoni and Pike alive on the D side, but 187 deciding to blow the horn and concede the point. And you can see Mantoni came out of his bunker a little frustrated because Pike and Mantoni still alive. But again, where is the offense on the snake side for 187? And I'm looking to Darula. I'm looking to Zaleski. I mean, those are aggressive guys. When 187 first came up, remember they were the cannonball aggressive team, always in your face.
Everybody's charging at all times.
Everyone a threat, you know. I mean, yeah, they didn't. That's not necessarily the best game plan to have, but it was impressive to watch and fun to see, and really made a name for themselves. And now I just don't know where that offense is right now.
Yep, definitely need to get something going over here. Sometimes you just got to look at what everybody else is doing that's winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it looks like...
What are they doing to us? We need to do exactly that.
Yeah. Drew Templeton catches one off the break. And now 4 players alive for Aftershock. Infamous still with 5. Aftershock has a body up the center. Looking at the line for Infamous right now. And there's the body in the center for Chicago Aftershock. Looks like another body. Velez is coming off. Sosin's coming off. And this is not a good point here for Shock. Markowski's still alive on the D side. But just 2 players here for Shock. And somebody's going to need to get a quick kill. Infamous with their 5 bodies. I think because of those quick kills, now trying to figure out the count. And then as soon as they figure out that there's just 2 players left alive, look for them to start making moves. Damian Ryan almost got one from Markowski, but he dodged that ball. That allows Markowski to move up into D3 because Ryan had to come off that lane, head check back in. Corey Bornstein's still alive. Well, everyone's alive for Infamous. But Corey Bornstein's trying to put some pressure on Markowski and allow Infamous to get up on that D side. Here comes the attack. No one knows Markowski's there. And then
looks like Brad may have got him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Brad.
Either way, Markowski's got a face full of yellow paint.
Either way, he's dead. Brad's dead, and there's still 4 players left alive for Infamous. So point for Infamous.
Oh man, Damian Ryan. Infamous not doing anything too crazy, being aggressive on that Dorito side with Brad McCurley doubling up the snake side tower to lock off that Dorito side.
Brad and Corey are playing real well for Infamous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like sometimes it gets to a point where you can just keep running plays and your guys are playing well and executing and you just keep rolling with it. If it ain't broke, don't change your game plan.
Yeah.
You know, Russian Legion haven't really changed their game plan very much, if at all. Just different bodies going to different spots. They're going to go to the corner. They're going to go to the snake tower. That time they take the Dorito 1 on the break. After going stopping short the whole time, nice to sneak into that Dorito 1, try and get an early advantage.
9 minutes.
Now Trailer is going to have to dip out to that Dorito side corner.
9 minutes still left here in this match, so a lot of time for 187 to mount a comeback, but they, again, need to get offense going, and they can't seem to find their groove. Mantoni gets shot up in that center. They still don't have anybody in the snake.
Yeah, Mantoni got shot by the Dorito 2, trying to bump up from that Dorito side can. Derula now bumping out from the snake tower to the snake corner.
And now Zaleski trying to get things going here on the snake side for 187. He still got beat in here by Axel. Axel got in now in snake 2.
Remember when last event when 187's snake attack really wasn't coming that hard? And then they stuck Roberts over here and Roberts just started cannonballing down the snake. If that's what we got to do, we're 187, that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, it looks like everybody's sticking their best gunfighter heads up in that snake side tower. Now, if I'm 187, I'm like, hey, who wants to go over here and win some gunfights for me? Heads up. Who really wants to go to battle?
Yeah, and they've put Zaleski in that back corner bunker, but Zaleski is normally their aggressive attacker on the snake side, even though they've had Pike and Robert. I mean, they've had a lot of guys in that spot. But when 187 first came up, it was Zaleski in the snake and Trailer in the snake. They've been putting him in the back, but they need to get something going, whether it's Derula or Zaleski, and now Zaleski's in snake 2, mirrored up with Axel and just won a gunfight. Actually, I think that was Derula for the back corner bunker. That was nice shot by Derula.
Shoots out Godin. Godin comes walking off, but Alexander Biernikov filling out to that snake side corner. He's going to be over here now by himself as the Russians are focusing heavy over there on that Dorito side.
187 lost Trailer.
Oh, and Lazat looks like he's going to make a bump up to the 2. Dorito 2. Zaleski looking to make a move. He's going to come on the inside, jump up into snake 3. If he just comes inside, gets in that snake, he could probably shoot Golev in the back over there. Oh, and there goes Lazat. And now the Russians are going to own that Dorito side.
And that's going to make life tough over here for Derula and Zaleski. Zaleski knows that, so he ditches the spot he was in, moves up. Derula getting shot out of his bunker, couldn't hide from the quickly evolving D side over there. And they're still, I don't think they realize that Zaleski is still alive. They don't, they dropped the ball. And luckily, though, is they picked him up at the last second. So got to be a little bit more careful there, closing things out if you're the Russians. But Biernikov was able to get a shot on Zaleski. They still had Golev alive, so nothing too bad. But
yeah, here comes Infamous. Ninos, Ryan, Mikowski, Bornstein, and Brad McCurley.
See the updated kill count leaders, and it looks like Crover from the Outlaws is sitting at first place. 15 confirmed for him. Not a lot of, well, they did win their first game, but it's good to see a guy like Crover getting up there. And you can see there Chad Doors also contributing for Houston Heat as we have the kill count going here. We'll keep you guys updated on kill count leaders moving forward. On the breakout here, Infamous up by a point over Chicago Aftershock. On your screen right now, Chicago Aftershock taking that center 50. You can see there, right-hand side, looking towards the D side, towards towards that stand side of the field. And then here is Infamous's line. A little bit more conservative, hunkered in their spots, trying to control the lanes. Niños getting a spin. Good to see Meter Niños back in action after blowing out his ACL in Texas on a pretty spectacular move. And then healing up pretty fast. So Infamous really content to just control these lanes. They only have a 1-point lead, so this is a pretty conservative breakout here. And really haven't seen anybody make any secondary moves. Aftershock's still doubling up the temple with Lawhead.
Well, they're going to Infamous's game plan. If they're not going to get it done the way that they're getting it done, might as well pull that body over.
Well, Markowski, who's having a really good game right now for Aftershock after struggling in that first one, he's now in D3.
And Drew Templeton takes half a step out of his bunker and he gets clipped.
It looks like a body coming off though for Infamous. Trevor Reeser takes the walk. Damian Ryan moves over to help out Niños. Still 4 players alive for both squads.
And Aftershock just laying down in that center wall, looking towards the Dorito side. Looks like Socin. And here comes the move, and right on top of the head.
That's
a big,
about
giant hit.
yeah, every micro ounce of paint is on his goggles still from that paintball.
So whoever's sitting there waiting on that snake cut got himself 2 confirmed kills. Might be Brad McCurley in Dorito 1. So Damian Ryan heads up. Bornstein fills the Dorito corner. Niños and Ryan over here.
Markowski at the 50-yard line for Aftershock. Shock also has a body up in that center. Here goes another body for Infamous coming off on that D side.
Yeah, Corey Bornstein comes running off. Only 3 bodies left alive now for Infamous.
So it's 3-on-3, but better field position for Shock. Chris Socin is getting checked out by the ref if he's hit. Markowski comes off though, so just 2 bodies left alive for Shock, and it might be 1 if Sosin's hit, but I don't think he is. He is clean, so it's now 2-on-3. Body count advantage goes to Infamous, and they have a 1-point lead, playing a conservative game here, or a conservative point. And then here comes Damian Ryan. He's going to run down Chris Socin. That's going to make it a 2-on-1.
Oh,
did he get him?
He did get him.
Oh, Damian Ryan did not get his former teammate Chris Socin.
Oh, and then Sos pops out and shoots Brad right in the goggles.
What a turn
and
of
then
events.
Meter turns to run around and run away, and he gets shot in the back.
Everybody's dead now on Infamous, so they squander a 3-on-2.
Wow, 3 bodies in a row, just like that for Infamous.
That's one. If you're Travis Lemansky, the owner and coach of the team, you're sitting in the pits going, come on, boys.
Wow, Socin with the okey doke up there in the middle, just laying down flat on his belly. Damian came to get him.
Nice point to tie it up for Chicago Aftershock. Markowski was doing work on the D side before he died, and then great job though by Velez and Socin to get those last 3 kills to win that point and tie this game up here at 3. So we got ourselves a game. 187 crew continuing to struggle here against the Russian Legion. And again, what sort of offense are they going to bring to the snake side of the field? Because we haven't seen much out of them over here in this match. And with the way that Godin and the way that Biretnikov is playing over here on the snake side of the field, if anyone that's playing the Russians, if you don't have a snake threat, you're going to struggle.
So here comes the Russian Legion. There's Golev. Standing next to Zabara. Getting ready to head out to that Dorito side. Biretnikov walking on. Colombo walking on. 187. See if they make any adjustments here. So looks like we're gonna have a bit of a technical delay again. Having some more issues with the scoreboard, so Gonna see if we can get that figured out here.
Well, let's talk quickly about the afternoon bracket, Todd.
Okay.
Full set of new games coming at you here in the afternoon. First day of prelim action here, 2016 NXL World Cup. We're going to see Dynasty. We're going to see X Factor. We're going to see the Ironman, AC Dallas, Thunder. Lots of stories to play out this afternoon. Let's start with the Ironman, Todd, since we have you up here. You're coaching the Ironman now, past 2 events. A team that's really been struggling this year, which really should be doing better with some of the guys they have on that roster, and this is a big test for them. What are your thoughts on this event and the games you have to play today?
Well, we've had a couple rough practices. You know, we went and played Impact up in NorCal, and then we played Dynasty down here. But you know, those practices that you have that are tough always help you learn more and be better as a team. But the things that we needed to work on from the very beginning was just number one, communication. Communication, knowing what to do, because you have good information on the field, is the key to winning any sort of tournament, winning any sort of points in games and putting them together. So we really struggled with communication, and that was just something that every player has to do individually and commit to, that people just weren't doing consistently. You know, when it's, you know, when I first learned communication, I got, you know, we're all playing on the Ironman, and I know nothing about communication. I'm just playing paintball, and you know, you guys are like, hey, you got to talk more. You got to talk more. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's happening? You know, my sister has brown hair. I like cats.
Well,
you know?
we're like, hey,
no.
Todd, you're loud. Use that weapon that you have. Yeah.
And so, you know, trying to teach these guys to be louder and more than just yell whatever it is that they're seeing, but to actually look at somebody. And communication isn't yelling stuff. It's, I talk to you, you listen to me, you talk back to me, I listen to you. And that was the biggest thing that we were having problems with. So we've been working on that, and as we've gotten better, being committed to practicing, being better at that, we have definitely gotten better playing together, because guys now have more information that they can make better decisions, because we have, you know, some pretty smart players, and you know, we got a bunch of athletes, so we got to use all of our talents that we have to be successful. So you know, I feel like after the couple weekends that we've had, that we have gotten a lot better. And I feel like we're pretty prepared for this tournament. But again, it always just comes down to execution. Can we come out here and utilize the things that we've learned over these past 5 days of practice?
And I feel with the Ironman, seen a lot of inconsistency out there. You had Scott Kemp 2 tournaments ago playing probably the best paintball I've ever seen him play, and really the team was riding him on that D side, and then at the last event really struggled over there. So which Scott Kemp is going to show up to this event? If you get Scott Kemp from 2 events ago, you guys, and knowing how important both sides of the field are, obviously, but we have seen some points blown open from this D side just in these games alone. And you picked up Alan Golding, coming over from the team you were coaching overseas with Breakout Spa, one of their best players. And so that's that could potentially be, if he doesn't get nerve-wracked and kind of second-guess himself, if he can play like he does over in the Millennium Series, he's going to be a big asset to you guys. And then you got a slew of front players, and Vidalich and Hamill and Caro and a bunch of guys that are also inconsistent. So if you can somehow get enough of those guys to bring their best game to this event and finally fulfill that potential, you guys could be a threat again, which is the same story for a lot of these younger teams. Boom came out and had, you know, like a really good showing at the last event, taking 6th overall, slowly starting to fulfill the talent potential that they have. You know, so it's AC Dallas, same story with them. Revo, same story with those guys. So those are the questions that we're going to be finding out the answers to. And then, of course, when you have some of the favorites like Dynasty and San Antonio X Factor's been very consistent. 2 third-place finishes as we've started to close the season out from the last 2 events. And then Dynasty, been a little bit more inconsistent, but 2 second-place finishes and then a 10th and a 7th. So Dynasty, the reigning World Cup champions, all this is going down this afternoon, and this is all their first games too. So we've just seen these first games, some teams getting slow starts. A team like Impact, who typically starts out slow, maybe drops a couple points they shouldn't drop. They didn't do that at all. They looked good today. Maybe that Uprising game, you could say, but Uprising came to play. So I think it's going to be a great afternoon, and I'm really looking forward to that Dynasty X Factor match that's going to start things out along with Thunder. Thunder, same thing there. You know, if they can get Brandon Morales going on this snake side, that could be, you know, an awesome performance for Thunder. Back into this game here as we got the clock fixed. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, but a 3-point spread here with the Legion 4, 187 Crew 1.
And Russian Legion, once again, doubling up that back center. And they get Smotrov out here to the snake insert. He's trying to battle with Biernikov. Heads up together at 187, but he takes one right in the goggles and walks off. But they also shoot Looks like Derula for 187 off the snake side. So
yeah, and it's tough. Yeah, so where's the offense for 187 as they got locked in some gun battles here and not able to get out wide with the loss of Derula. No one to the snake, no one in the insert bunker on the snake side. The Russians, with Smotrov getting Cyclops, he's also walking off too. So, and then now Zaleski loses a gunfight. That causes Mantoni to try to fill in, and here comes Alexander Burtnikov past the 50-yard line.
it's just too much 187 players in the snake side tower looking towards the Dorito side. Either their Dorito side is dying too early or getting too overpowered, but 187 needs to be coming out here to the snake side, battling heads up and trying to attack.
Well, somebody got a shot on Malloy. So Alexander Burtnikov got shot when he got in clean to the 50-yard line here in the snake, but then he walked off too. So that's a big kill, and that forces Colombo to have to retreat and get to the insert bunker here, snake side of the field. We haven't seen Colombo in the snake yet. And then here Colombo is going to fill in and crawl up to snake 2 and wrap around, wearing Kirill's jersey. And now Colombo, one of the best players ever to come out of the proud nation of France and been helping out the Tauntauns for years, is now locked in a gunfight with Thomas Mantoni, one of the veteran New England players. And then now Mantoni's going to try to fill out but get stitched up by Colombo. Nice pickup there by Colombo. And it looks like Golev is still alive over there on the D side. That's another veteran presence for the lineup here for the Russian Legion. And Russians are going to go up right now 5-1. So it's looking like Russians starting to run away with this one. Infamous and Chicago Aftershock tied up at 3.
30 seconds.
Close game here, and looks like Damian Ryan, Thomas Taylor going to get a spin with Minkowski and McCurley and Corey Bornstein. So what's interesting about Infamous with Trevor coming back from the horrible incident from the last event, getting Bornstein back, Meters back off the knee injury. They had a skeleton crew, but now a lot deeper, which really is going to help them here. Not as hot and humid as Florida normally is, so as far as that endurance is going to be concerned, it's definitely hotter today than it's been. And today is supposed to be, at least according to the weatherman, the hottest day of the weekend. It still's 80s, mid 80s, and it is a little bit of humid, so it's definitely gonna take you down. But now, they went with that skeleton crew, and now they have a little bit of deeper guys. So maybe this is Infamous' tournament, trying to put their second win on the board here, tied up, just a minute and 42 seconds left to go here with Chicago Aftershock. Chicago Aftershock able to take the center off the break. Thomas Taylor, though, the presence in the snake right now, in snake 1. Looking at the line on your screen from Los Angeles Infamous, Damian Ryan. Hasn't really been going up to the center as much as we've been seeing him going up there this year. But he's definitely been up there, but not an every point thing like it had been a couple tournaments.
Well, 1 minute, 12 seconds.
Time ticking off this clock. Yeah, Todd.
Shock with 5 bodies. They got the snake locked off from that center wall.
So as things, if no kills come, look for these guys to tighten it up and try to take this into overtime here. It'll be our 3rd overtime that we have seen so far in this morning division. And here goes a body dropping off. It's Velez who has to take the walk. And now Chris Sosin moves up, repositions here, snake side to get a better angle. And then now Thomas Taylor, knowing that the time's come down, and he kind of throws his body away there. I don't know if Thomas got some miscommunication on whether or not there was somebody in that 50 snake. There was nobody there, so a miscue there from Thomas Taylor.
Ronnie Dizon gets shot, though, as well. Looks like Drew Templeton takes a bouncer in the pack. He's asking for a check.
Minkowski comes off, though, and then Lawhead's going to get shot, too. So bodies dropping all over the place as time's starting to tick off. That could open an opportunity here, and it looks like Damian Ryan with kind of a sloppy fill into Snake 1. He gets picked off.
Sosin, nobody
but look
knew
at
where
this,
Sosin
though.
was. Sosin
yeah, but it's
going to
be Brad McCurley who's going to play the hero here with just 7 seconds left to go. Somehow able to blow open that D side. We're talking about how well the duo of Corey Bornstein and Brad McCurley were playing on that D side, and just when we thought this game was going to overtime, nope, Infamous able to steal it away in the last 10 seconds. Let's see if we can get a replay on that. So you're watching this develop here, and there goes Templeton, catches an extra bonus ball. That's not surprising considering the history of these two teams. There's Sosin trying to put paint over on that side. He gets shot out, and so the combo of And you see maybe Sosine, he's complaining that he felt he put a ball on Brad. Brad's not going to listen to Chris Sosine. He's just going to go in and hit that buzzer, backed up by Bornstein.
10 seconds.
Yeah, that was the shot right there that Sosine thought he got, because if he shot Damien and then shot Brad, I think it might have been a one-on-one right after that. So, but Brad made it through that gap alive, ends up shooting Sos and blowing the horn. 4:07 in this game. Legion up 5-1. As 187 trying to fight their way back in, they send Painter up to the center on the break, and he gets a penalty. He's going to get Slowiak pulled. There's just 3 bodies left alive now for 187, and the Russians charging down the Dorito side.
No, Zaleski just lost a gunfight coming over the top, got shot in the top of his head over here on the Snake side, and again, you know, just no offense Snake side. I know that not a lot of offense on either side, but at least Lazat's been and Pike have been getting it done a little bit on that D side, but 187 really needs to go back to the drawing board over here and figure out. This is when I'd be asking the question. I'd be like, hey guys, can I get a 1 on the Snake side? Can somebody give me a 1 on the Snake side? I need you to at least attempt to get to the Snake. Don't go to the insert and shoot cross field. Get into Snake 1. If you want to shoot cross field, yeah, it's frustrating because we're watching all these successful teams have constant presence in the Snake. The Russians are doing it well. Impact is doing it well. Infamous has been doing it well. You don't have to do it every point, obviously, as they're throwing different looks out there, throw an aggressive look, a conservative look, but the best teams have that versatility. We're just not seeing that out of 187, and they have the guys to do that. So they're going to have to get in that meeting here later on and take a hard look at the strategy and how they're attacking this side particularly, because I feel like Lazat and Pike and Trailer are at least trying down the D side. They're pushing up the center, too.
We're down 9 runs. I need a guy that wants to go to the Snake and get me a single. That's it. That's all I need.
You can see now we're in the pits here with Infamous, who, you know, even though there are 7 seconds, so we will be playing that 7 seconds out just in case, you know, a major penalty gets assessed on and throws the chance away for Infamous to win this game here, at least in regulation. And that's a tall order. That's probably not going to happen. But see, it looks like they're sending Callie, Thomas, Meter, Ryan, and sending the fast line out with Markowski, Simmons, no packs. Simmons doesn't even have a pack on, of course. It's like 7 seconds left. Can't even shoot. Probably shoot maybe pod and a half in 7 seconds. Looks like they're going to have 10 seconds on the clock. So,
man,
Shock fans are just begging for an Infamous major right now.
Here come the Welts.
Yeah, and you can hear a lot of frustration getting vented from Shock's pits after that heartbreaker at the last point. Here comes the full court press from Chicago Aftershock. They double up the center. Markowski gets blown up trying to get up down there. Looks like Templeton is going to get shot. It's going to be a major assess on Templeton. It's not going to matter. As you see,
2 minutes.
Infamous going to be taking this victory here. You can see, yeah, and I was going to say, there's no way we're ending this game without an argument. Yeah, so you could see that we're looking at CJ Traub have a little conference with his referees right now to see if that how that point's going to go. Was that major penalty assessed before or after regulation ended? If it was assessed before, that's going to be a point for Infamous. And again, all the points are important with the spread, so that's why Infamous is begging for that penalty over here. See, Ryan. Damian Ryan is over here right by the conference being had by the referees to see if they get that point. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. I was in the 187 pits. Max Trailer was talking about the issues that they're having at this event here on the first day. He said they are dropping their zones and they're having trouble getting anything going on the Snake side. So they're going to have a meeting tonight to really figure out why they can't get going on the Snake side and what they need to do to stop getting stuck after they come off the break. Back to you.
Called it.
Yeah. It's called go. Get a guy in the Snake and go. Stop sitting in Snake 1, Snake 2.
Dude, I'd love if they at least could get a guy in Snake 1 and sit in Snake 1. Now, they've been in the Snake today a little bit, but it just, the glaring issue with 187 right now, which sounds like they are addressing, is just the lack of offense on the Snake side. There's offense on the D side, but the lack of offense on the Snake side is hindering the offensive production from the D side. So that's the big issue right now that 187 needs to address. Let's see if they do at this point. I mean, with the way that this point spread is, just on general principle alone, I'll probably pick my fastest guy and just send him to the snake off the break and see if he can make it. I mean, who's 187's fastest guy? Pike, maybe? Roberts? They're all kind of quick.
Yeah.
And they're all about the same size. Darula, I don't know who the fastest guy is at 187. We know it's not Painter or Slowiak. even though both those guys aren't slow, but there's no way that either one of those dudes is beating Zaleski or Trailer in a foot race. So look at this though. Axel Godin past the. This is offense. You're watching offense right now from Red Legion. Constant pressure.
Dan Zaleski just went toe-to-toe for about 10 seconds with Biernikov and was determined to get that kill, and he does.
Well, look at this, though, on your screen developing too. And Todd, if Painter is up at the center 50, and Axel has no idea he's there, and Axel's about to get run down. There you go, Zaleski. A little bit of fire in you. Zaleski goes and runs down, punishes Axel, and then Axel catches a couple extra bonus balls and looks at the guy like, really? Okay, I guess I can understand we're beating you guys up 6-1. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go. You can see on your screen doubling up that home bunker, that back center bunker for Red Legion. Looks like, I think Colombo just caught one. Golev's still alive in there.
Here comes Slowiak up through the middle of the field. Painter walking off. 2 bodies left alive for the Russians. And looks like Darula is going to get that shot in on the back of Golev in the back center and then jump onto their snake. And nowhere to hide there in that back corner for Zabara. It's 187 finally able to put a point together.
Well, they were able to do it on the counterpunch. They also got lucky because Axel made a mistake by getting into the 50 snake and not shooting out Painter in that center 50.
Yeah.
All he had to do was just back. He was past the 50 up into the next notch, which from that spot is blocked out from the pin. And all he needed to do was back up because Painter didn't know he was there, I don't think. So all he needed to do was just back up off there and get that kill. So a little mistake there by Axel, who's been playing great for the Russians. Let's check in with Lauren down in the pits.
Hey guys, I'm actually here on the hot seat with Brad McCurley from Infamous. Congratulations today. Oh, don't hurt yourself. Congratulations, you guys won both of your matches today.
Yep.
Now, you've had a pretty good season. You've gotten first, third, fourth, fifth. That's a good showing for you guys this season. Do you feel like you still have something to prove, though, here at World Cup?
Only to ourselves at this point. We all know what we're all capable of, and we expect the utmost from all of us, each and every one of us. So it's not so much pressure from outside our own camp. We hold each other and ourselves very, very accountable, and I think that's what keeps us at that top level. So again, it's no pressure outside of our own team and our own squad.
You guys have been running with a skeleton squad this entire season, but you have more players here. You have Corey Borenstein, of course you have Shredder and Markowski, and then Ninios is back from his knee injury.
Yep.
So is that helping you guys in the pits at all, or is that core group of the same skeleton squad pretty much going to be running most of the plays?
Yeah, we tend to run it momentum based and run the hot hand. So we're still kind of rolling with our main core guys that we have the whole year. And then we'll filter in the guys as needed. Getting Corey back was really big, that big gun on the Doritos. He's been playing with me. He's my boy. I love having him behind me, that chatterbox behind me. He's great. So it's awesome having him there, rolling his gun behind me. And then the other guys, the other bodies, it's just cushion, right? I mean,
absolutely.
You can't account for injuries, right? So anytime that we have extra guys,
your knee.
My knee, my shoulder, you name it, but we're still out here, right?
All right, well, thank you. Congratulations on a great showing today. Let's check out this match. Back to you guys.
Just 2 minutes to go here, and 187 loses a body off the break, but they shoot 2 players to the Russians. So nice off the break shots here by 187, though they lose another body in Lazat on that D side. So kind of a bloodbath here at the outset of this point. What could potentially be the last point.
Look, is that Roberts getting into the snake over here? He's going to get a check.
No, it's Zaleski.
So it's Zaleski crawling all the way onto their side of the field.
Yeah,
he's going to get a check.
For the first time here at this in this game, we have a 187 player looking at guns still and not on a counterpunch, but actually playing the aggressor here past the 50 line. So that's good to see. So it's good to see Dan here try to fix some of these issues they've been having and get a kill. See, this is what happens when you start to put pressure on a team that's been putting pressure on you. They start to show cracks. And then now Nick Sloviak is going to try to sprint in and keep this point spread a little bit better. Try to help things out, potentially see how things are going to shake out for the rest of the event. But, you know, with 187 losing by 2 points to Infamous in their first match, and now still down a bunch here against Russian Legion, you know, going to go 0-2 today.
Yeah, and I mean, they played 2 tough teams today. You know, when they're on their game, they're definitely capable of beating these teams, but digging themselves a hole early in both of those matches.
Well, I think if 187 has a good meeting tonight, walk the field a little bit more today, watch some of the afternoon brackets. I mean, and that's one of those things too. If you're a team that's having problems with your game plans or execution of game plans, then you better be watching X Factor versus Dynasty. You better come out here and try to watch some of these teams that are sitting at the top rank and see what they're doing out here. How are they addressing this field? It's hard to do that sometimes when you're playing in the morning bracket and you don't. I mean, yeah, you're sitting around, you're getting ready, but you're trying to, what did Impact just do? Okay, you know, you're focused on your game. So 187 though, but Todd, like you said, when 187 brings their best game, they have the chance to beat anybody out here. So I think if they can go back tonight, again, have those meetings, address the field a little bit more, I think that, and then maybe win out tomorrow. I mean, they're playing the Outlaws, and then they have Heat. So, you know, they still have a chance, depending on how everything else shakes out.
Yeah, well, there's always a chance. Yeah, you never know. That's why you just got to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. Try and get points. Try and win games. Even at 2-2, like you said before, man, you just never know. You might make it in. Somebody else might drop the ball. Some team that's 0-3 might win their last game and knock somebody out. You never know with the point spread.
Yeah, that's why you just got to hang mentally tough the entire time. So we're in the pits right there. Zaleski and Mantoni. Mantoni on the left. He's the old school New England player. Came up in the Hurricane camp, a former pro team, and was brought on to give them some of that veteran experience. Then they were able to pick up Nick Sloviak. And then there's the always hyped up Moses Donovan, a.k.a. Avon Barstale.
1 minute.
An actual, like, real military veteran, not like just a paintball veteran. So you can see there is Golev and Malloy walking out to play this next point. Talk about veterans. Malloy spent a little time on Art Chaos, played with Houston Heat, and then ended up getting cut from Heat, which was kind of inexplicable. So you guys have been watching the game for a long time, but that lit a fire under him because he's played some phenomenal paintball for the Tauntauns overseas and for the Russians here again, the team he started with.
20 seconds.
And a former Top Gun award winner.
Still one of the most baffling moves of all time in my general management experience.
Yeah. So, could be the last point here. Minute left to go. Down by 3. And trying to go to the snake off the break and get taken out. Trying to get Zaleski up there. And he gets taken. Actually, no, that was Roberts. So Roberts gets shot with not a lot of time left. Trying to create an opportunity to score another point. They also lose Lazat at a D2. 187 still has Eddie Painter up in the center 50, and here comes Dan Zaleski taking a huge bite from the back corner bunker on the snake side, dives into the 50, but he gets shot. Russian Legion, 5 players alive for them, just locked up in those back bunkers, trying to take as much of this time off the clock and solidify this victory, their second victory, and another good-looking one, too. Smotroff. Wow, that was kind of a bad shake of his run out to that back corner bunker, stumbling and bumbling, trips and falls and gets shot. So did 187? No, as I was watching Smotroff stumble into the back corner bunker and get shot, looks like Eddie Painter, somebody was able to run down and the point, yeah, hit the point. Point's good.
2 minutes.
So what looked like a pretty good spread for Red Legion ended up not working out for him, and that's another point for Upton. I don't know how all those players, was that Russians? Or I was watching Smotroff fall down, couldn't see who won that last point with all that chaos that just happened. Yeah, so it was the Russians. I was going to say, as I was watching Smotrov fall, I was thinking, how was it possible 187 won that point, but they didn't. So it was the Russians, and I think that they are going to call it. So that is going to be it. Congratulations to Russian Legion as they take another solid victory here. They beat up on Aftershock, and though 187 crew did fight there towards the end of that one and put that point spread a little bit closer, we're able to win a pretty convincing victory here. And also with Infamous taking down Shock. So before we go to a lunch break and then get into the afternoon professional games here, let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks, guys. I have Axel Godin here. Congratulations. Moscow Red Legion won both of their matches today, first day here at World Cup. Now, you guys have been looking stronger all season long, but the previous seasons you've struggled because you have younger players on your team that you're still trying to train. You usually come into matches with realistic expectations. So what are your realistic expectations for how you guys will do here at World Cup this weekend?
As you say, we worked a lot for the past season, and especially this season we grew a lot from the first event to the last event. The kids are playing super good now. They grow up, and they took some experience and everything, so they are now ready to compete against like the best teams, and I think this is why at this tournament we expect to take the win, and we are hungry for it, and we will do everything we can to take it.
Well, you guys came out strong today. Kind of break down what your practices look like. You guys work a lot with the new guys, trying to train them. You have a ton of veteran players who are well equipped to do that. What do your practices look like to get them to this level that they're playing at now?
It's not about the skills, because they practice the skills back in Moscow, so the individual skills, it's more about like understanding the game and game decision. Like the decision making during the game is the most important. So most of the time it's a lot of brainwashing after the practice, and like why did you do this? If they do this, what will you do? Why will you do it? And just trying to give them some knowledge of decision making. And so now they start to make their own game, like with their own style, like aggressive style or defensive and slow. They have their own game, and it works pretty well. So we will see tomorrow now.
Yeah, make them ask themselves those questions and come up with that paintball knowledge themselves.
Exactly.
On the field, with this specific field layout, who would you say in practices was most productive on this specific layout?
At the practice, Malloy was very productive on the layout. He was playing on the center, on the snake side, going back and forth to the Dorito side. He was playing very, very good, and it was very impressive to watch and very nice to watch too. It was a very nice game. He was stopping in blind zone, just making some shots to put the guy in and then go to another bunker. He was really impressive to watch, and definitely, yeah, the most productive player, I think.
So moving forward this weekend, who do you think your toughest matches are going to be against? Be honest.
Definitely Heat tomorrow morning. We had two tough games today that are done, and we did pretty well, so that's fine. So tomorrow we will battle against Heat again. They have 2 wins against us this year, so we are really, really hungry for it, and we will see tonight. We'll have a meeting and talk it out, and let's come strong tomorrow.
All right, well, I'll expect you to tell me all your secrets from your meeting tomorrow. Thank you, Axel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, stay tuned. We'll have 4 more matches after this break.